Yeah. Well, one of the solutions, I guess, is we realised during the pandemic that, you know, we can actually holiday locally and enjoy it. And there's a possible an organisation we work with for campaigning for employer incentives to take low carbon forms of transport, so you get more paid holiday, for instance, if you take the train and it takes you a bit longer to get somewhere. And for me, some of the work we do at Safe Landing is about telling new stories and new narratives. Like, you know, it's a bit cliche, but it's not really about the journey, it's a destination. No, I got it the wrong way around. It's not just the destination, it's a journey, right? So if you stop on the way to Madrid, and you can stop in multiple French towns and villages and whatnot, you know, you can enjoy the experience. And if we're working less, it was always sold this dream that technology, robots would be doing our jobs and would be all, you know, out, yeah, do it, you know. And the reality is we're working now more than ever, and we need that 2 weeks in the Caribbean, or at least we're sold this dream that we need the 2 weeks in the Caribbean just to feel human. You know, we need a week in the Caribbean just to feel human, then another week to prepare for coming back home. You know, it's ridiculous. So obviously we have these policy levers as well. A frequent flyer tax levy is a no-brainer. A ban on polluting private jets, a tax on jet fuel so that we can make flying fairer. And actually a recent report came out to show that 77% of the UK population don't need to change their travel habits at all. And of course the right-wing media make it out as if it's the working person who's going to suffer, who saves up their hard-earned cash for that one holiday. But they can just carry on, because 50% of the UK population don't fly at all each year. It is the first-class travellers, the frequent flyers, and the private jet users that are ruining it for everyone else. So that would actually cause I think a 34% reduction in aviation, degrowth of aviation by 2030, and 77% of people in this country don't need to do a thing. So it could be very popular if we got behind these frequent flyer measures. Another solution is to really empower aviation workers, and that's kind of what we're focusing on in Safe Landing. We're championing this idea of workers' assemblies. I was thrown out of Balfour Union because I was talking about growth and demand management, volunteering in the environmental study group, because ultimately if you put a vote out or motion for a union, in my perspective as it stands, most of the members are subject to the same propaganda from the government or the media. And so when we can come into a deliberative democratic process, a long form of information, people paid for their time to sit down and understand these issues, think critically and make better decisions. And then if these sort of assembly processes were binding, we could potentially have policy changes in unions or government. And there's a few unions that are sort of yeah, hopefully we can get some motions through. And you know, we've discussed at length as well, you know, what are the levers of power, the levers of change. And I think within unions, one of the things that I've felt frustrated about in the past was, as was mentioned earlier, these anti-union laws ultimately do take away the power of a union to do what it should be doing. And I think having heard that, I will certainly try to focus more on getting that change, because ultimately that then gives that possibility for us to have a climate strike. And I think, you know, that for me that could be much more powerful than what we can do out on the streets of Extinction Rebellion, and I've done that enough times. So yeah, what else is there? How long do I have?
You're good.
Okay. All right, that's it. All right,